Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. My name is Tony Butler. I'm one of the life sales directors here, and today's webinar, we're going to be talking with AJ Staffsling, who is with North American. AJ, you want to introduce yourself?
Good morning, everybody. Yep, AJ Safson here at North American. I am the life internal wholesaler for IAMS, and I've been doing the internal wholesaler part of the world for about 5.5 years. And before that, I worked in the MGA space, much like Tony, for about 15 years. So that's just a quick intro on myself.
All right. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of our webinar, or subject of our webinar, a couple of things I want to discuss with you in regards to insurance agency marketing services and what we offer to our agents as an IMO. First off, we do have a new producers builders. This is an incentive for those agents that are newly appointed with IAMS. We do offer, based on your production level, certain perks, if you will, for that production. As you see here, we have 100,000, 250, 500, 750, and $1 million level. These are paid premiums. And what perks we offer are things such as mailers, all the way up to Ritz-Carlton package. If you're looking for some assistance as far as getting into the digital marketing space, we can help with that as well. So if you have any questions in regarding our new producers builders, please do not hesitate to give me a call. Be more than happy to go over those specifics with you. We also have our IAMS Business Builder. As you're aware, as an agent, a lot of the business that you do get can come from referrals as well as the business that we receive. So any agent that you refer to IAMS, if they get appointed with any of the carriers that we work with, we do provide you with a $50 referral bonus. We also provide you with additional monies in regards to the business that they do write. As you see here, depending on the type of business, whether it's life, index annuities, single premium life, or MIGA annuities, we do offer specs on that as well. So if you have any questions in regards to our IAMS Business Builders, please give us a call. Any one of our sales directors will be more than happy to answer any questions that you have on that. All right, we also offer you back office support. What we like to say is we like for you to work smarter, not harder. So with that, we are here to support you all the way from submissions to commissions. Some of the things that we offer that can make your job a lot easier is paperless contracting. We do offer forms at your fingertips. I'll talk about that on the website that we have available. We do life and annuity quotes for you as well. So please consider us as far as back office support. Now, with the current environment with COVID going on, a lot of agents are having, how should I say, some struggles in getting in front of their clients. With that being said, we have a couple of platforms that allow you to actually do electronic applications, one of which is Firelight. With the Firelight platform, as you see here, we have several carriers that's available on this platform. Those are the carriers to the left. On the right here, you'll see carriers that we're working to get added to Firelight. The majority of the carriers that you're seeing here on the left are annuity carriers, but we do have some life carriers that are available. If you haven't registered for Firelight, give us a call at our toll-free number. I'll be glad to walk you through the process to get you registered. We also have a creative marketing solutions team, and what they're there or designed for is to help you, whether it be turnkey, agency, or digital solutions. What that means for you, the agent, is if you need assistance as far as handouts or flyers, newsletters, you're looking for business cards, designing business cards, logo designs, or redesigning your current logo. If you're looking to get into the digital marketing space, they can assist you with that. So if you give Jacob Tedlock a call, his team would be more than happy to help out with that. The other platform that we have as far as electronic applications is our iGo eApp, and that's available on our IAMS website. As you see here, our website is www.iamsinc.com. The website provides excellent sales tools. If you're a life agent, you can actually do term quotes, guaranteed universal life quotes on our website. Forms are available on our website. Long-term care information as well as annuity information is available. If you haven't visited our website and need a quick tutorial on how to navigate through the website or get registered on our website, be more than happy to walk you through that process. Please don't hesitate to give me a call. We also offer Retirement Analyzer. The Retirement Analyzer is offered up on a 30-day free trial basis, and that helps you as the agent answer questions from your clients, such as, can I continue my present standard of living into my retirement years? How will it affect my family if I enter a nursing facility or if I were to die prematurely? Again, we do offer this on a 30-day free trial basis. It is free for qualifying agents based on the amount of production that you're submitting. But if you have questions on the Retirement Analyzer, again, any one of the sales directors can help you with that. We also have an IAMS wealth management team. The wealth management team is there to help you, the agent, for your higher net worth clients. We found that they can help you increase revenue, improve client retention, strengthen client relationships. Charles Jr. is head of our IAMS wealth management team. If you have any questions on things that they can offer for you, give them a call. Anyone on his team would be more than happy to assist you. And lastly, if you're familiar with insurance agency marketing services, you know that we do a life and an annuity academy. What that is a 2-day training that we pay for as far as travel and lodging. Obviously, with COVID, we haven't done anything the latter part of this year. Looking at possibly doing something next year. Don't have details on that yet, but when we do have more information on that, we'll definitely get that out to you guys. With that, AJ, I know that you've got quite a bit of material to discuss, so I'm going to turn this over to you.
Thanks, Tony. All right, let's make sure technology works.
All right. You should now be able to drive the bus.
All right. I'm attempting to show my screen. You should see North American in the upper left-hand side, and then it says case information. Can you see that, Tony?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate everybody taking time out of their valuable day today to go over this. What this is going to be, it's going to be a little bit different than probably what you're used to. What I want to show you is something that you can bring to the table when you are talking to your clients, especially about retirement supplement and how an IUL can benefit them, especially if they're running into other scenarios, other alternatives that they're maybe getting pitched to them by somebody else, whether it's a mutual fund or it could be an annuity or something like that. What I want to show you today is something in our InsMark tool that we have that's tied to the North American software, where you can show, for example, our Builder Plus 2, right? That is our IUL supplement retirement flagship product versus alternatives, and how the IUL can actually be a benefit compared to what you're going up against. So what I'm really going to do first is I'm just going to show you what our software looks like if you haven't looked at it. So this is basically what it looks like if you go in there and you want to run the Builder Plus 2 retirement supplement, right? So the person is, we're just going to say a 35-year-old who is maxing out their 401k, they might be maxing out their Roth or something like that. They have additional money that, you know what, they want to take advantage of. They want to do something with it, put it away where it's safe, they get upside potential with no risk and get living benefits. Well, that's going to be the Index Universal Life Plan, the Builder Plus 2 with North American. So I'm just going to buzz through this part of it real quick, the input screens, because I want to show you the more valuable piece of this here in a little bit. So here you can see I'm just going with a 35-year-old male, and we'll stick with the state of Iowa. Product type, obviously we're going with Index Universal Life. So then it's going to bring up a pop-up here for available products. Choose the Builder Plus IUL2. Okay. So we have that 35-year-old. Now let's just say this person has additional $10,000 per year they can put into something like this, into the Builder Plus 2. So 35-year-old, let's just say they're the second best rating, preferred non-tobacco. When you go for a solve here, really, we know the focus of this is probably going to be more on the cash value side of it, less death benefit, even though ultimately we know this is life insurance. So the solve you do, if you're not familiar, is a multiple solve because it's a minimum DB and you want to get the max distributions you can show for tax-free retirement using the variable loans. Okay, now, here you can see I have it loan, variable. I'm going to dial down this variable interest rate loan a little bit. Currently, we're actually only charging 4%, but I'll even bump it up here just to be conservative in case something changes down the road. So let's just say they're going to fund this for 30 years. We want to show distributions from the year after they stop paying premiums until, let's just say it's age 90. So this is where you can change all those different things. I'm going to leave everything else here, but you can see I'm actually also going to change where my death benefit option solve is going to be, and I'm going to go return of premium. If you're not familiar with that, it's very similar to an increasing switching to level death benefit feature, but here's the best part about it. This is more automated. The death benefit goes up by the amount of premium that the client puts in. Once they're done paying the premiums, the death benefit levels off. Now, currently, a lot of people run these things increasing, switching to level. Here's the little bit of the issue with that. That's not an automated process. Once the client is done paying the premiums, the death benefit doesn't level off. Somebody has to remember down the road, hey, I'm done paying premiums. I need to call the insurance company and level off the death benefit so the death benefit doesn't keep increasing, which would also push up the cost of insurance. That's why we have this return of premium option. We call it the set it and forget it. You know, once they're done paying the premiums, it levels off the death benefit. Now, here's the premium spot. And remember how I said we're going to show $10,000 per year for 30 years. So I'm going to pay premium until year 30. Now, down at the bottom here, this is where you can show your illustrated rate. Okay, the maximum illustrated rate we can show currently on the Builder Plus 2 is 6.27. I'm assuming that some people on the call are familiar with the phrase AG49A. What that is, and going to be here in a couple of weeks, basically every insurance company gets regulated on the maximum illustrated rates they can show on their IUL products. Currently, we're in AG49. Okay, we've been that way for 3 or 4 years. And it's changing here in a couple of weeks. It's AG49A. So companies are even going to have to dial down their maximum illustrated rates even more. So where is that going to have a major effect? If you're not familiar, there's some companies out there that have very big expense or asset charges in the backgrounds of their IUL. Really what that's for is to fund or to pay for a multiplier or a bonus that is built into the product. Now, here's kind of an alarming thing about those things. Those asset charges sometimes can be like 5, 6, or 7%. Okay, so if you think about that, the market does nothing, but you just still have that asset charge of like 5, 6, or 7%. The client goes backwards. Well, AG49A, what that's going to do is that's going to regulate some of that. So those carriers who have the big asset charges in the background, that is really going to scale back what they're going to be able to show on these illustrated rates. To be honest with you, I'm one of those people who actually dials down my interest rates just to be conservative because, I mean, honestly, in this industry, wouldn't you rather under promise and over deliver? So for this example, what I'll do is I'll dial this down to 5.5 on the interest rate. Okay. So just sort of recap, I'll scroll back up to the top. Got the 35-year-old male preferred non-tobacco. We're doing the minimum death benefit max distribution solve. And we're going to do that first distribution at age 66, which technically is year 31. And we want to show the distributions to age 90 using the variable loans. Obviously, you can get positive arbitrage with the variable loans. And it's going to be tax-free to the heirs. And here's the ROP death benefit feature, which I explained. There's the $10,000 going in for 30 years. One other thing I do need to point out before we go any further is if you're familiar with positive arbitrage that you can show on these IULs. Right now, currently, because of AG 49, we can show a 1% positive arbitrage, okay, on the loan portion. Now, when AG 49A comes into play here in a couple of weeks, the most that any carrier is going to be able to show on positive arbitrage on the loan portion is only half a point. So they're bringing down those things a little bit as well. So if you're not familiar with AG 49A, those are a couple of the changes that it's going to affect. The good thing for a company like us, like North American, we're very conservative, so we don't really have those real big asset charges in the background to pay for our bonuses or multipliers. So for us, it's going to have a minimal impact as compared to some of the other companies out there. Definitely had to point that out though. So now that we've put all the information in, let's just look at the Builder Plus 2 illustration. So I view the illustration at the top here, and yes, it is web-based, so it does take a little bit to generate. So what you're going to see if you're not familiar with the North American software or what the illustration pages look like, you're going to see obviously the premium going in down the left-hand side. Then you're going to see us taking the tax-free distributions as well. And then the far right-hand side is that illustrated rate of 5.5%. And that's what we're generating the income off of, is that 5.5% illustrated rate on the far right-hand side. So you'll see it pop up. Again, this does take a little bit because it is web-based. All right. Now that we finally get into the illustration, I'm going to scroll down past the first few pages and get really to the nuts and bolts of this. Go right into the ledger. There you can see at the top, it's a male, age 35, preferred non-tobacco. The death benefit it solved for was $590,000 and change. So now on the left-hand side, you can see the premium going in, $10,000. Okay. You can see where it says type, it says P, that means premium. There's the death benefit. It's growing as the premium goes in. Okay. Now remember, we're going to show distributions at age 66, year 31. So you can see, based on that 5.5% each year on the far right-hand side, the income via variable loan, tax-free, beginning in year 31, is over 61. Here, I'll zoom in. It's over $61,000, tax-free. Okay. How powerful is that you can show your clients that for retirement supplement? And remember, we cut it off at age 90. Okay. And you can see where the death benefit goes. Obviously, as they're taking out the premium using the variable loans, obviously that death benefit is going to go down. Okay. So that's why you can see that over the years. Now that I've done that, you see all the information, you see the 10,000 premium going in, you see the variable interest loan coming out at over 61 grand tax free. Now what I want to do is show you how you can compare it to other financial vehicles. So what you do is you click output options here on the left-hand side. And let's just say we want to show this up against, let's just say it's a mutual fund, and we're going to say it's earning the same amount of interest. So what you do is you scroll down here to where it says InsMark, down here at the bottom. So you click on InsMark. And again, web-based, so it does spin and it does take a little while. Just to let you know, if you are using our software, definitely use Google Chrome. Internet Explorer takes probably 2 or 3 times as long. It's a little bit clunky, so Google Chrome if you have it. All right, so now what you'll see here, you'll see the InsMark module, which is free. This version of it is free. If you use the North American software from our website, it is free, these next modules that I'm going to show. So what you do is you launch InsMark, and then you click right here on where it says button on the left-hand side. Close that. I open it down here at the bottom. InsMark Illustration System 17.2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new client. Okay, create new client workbook. I click OK. And I'm going to sort of start from scratch on this one. I do have some pre-saved information in here, but I'm going to start from scratch. And you can name this whatever you want. You know, you can name it 35-year-old male or something like that. Now, what you'll see on here is quite a few different things: permanent versus term, other investments versus your policy, cost of waiting, all kinds of things you could do with InsMark. But just for saving time purposes, I want to show you what we use this for about 90% of the time. Right here is kind of the home base, various financial alternatives. Click OK. What's really neat about this is you can kind of customize it however you want based on the information you have from the various financial alternatives you might be going up against. Okay, so let's say that you find out that the tax bracket for the client is 25%. You can put it right in here. If it's something different, you could change it if you want to. But we're going to keep it just where I had it right now, just to make it simple. I want to show this through the end of the payment period that the client was taking out on the Builder Plus 2 to age 90, right? So they were 35. I'm going to show it to the age 90 because that's where I showed where the distributions end. Now, let's just say I want to show it up against, let's say for an example, a mutual fund. So what you can do, some of these are already pre-made. Look what you can go up against if you want: a CD, money market, a muni bond, an annuity, an equity account, a TDRP or a 401k, whatever you want to call it, non-deductible IRA, which is probably going to be a Roth. But for this purpose, we're going to use a mutual fund. On here, it's called a side fund. You can name it whatever you want in here. So like for me, you can see I already pre-named it as a mutual fund. And let's just say you want to show the same interest rate, what you're showing on the Builder Plus 2. And let's just say it does have a small management fee. I'm going to scale this back even a little bit to a 0.5 point instead of 1 point. If you find out whatever you're going up against has a certain fee or sales charge, you can input it here if you want. Okay. For the sake of being simple here, I'm just going to show a 0.5 point. I'm going to show the yield at 5.5%. And remember, this is a mutual fund, so it's going to be taxable. Now what I do is I go into the report selection. Okay. You can see on the left-hand side, there's all sorts of graphs. There's all sorts of flow charts you can do in there. There's like 35 different pages, but I like to keep it simple. So what I do is comparison of value, comparison of plan costs. I do side fund versus the Builder Plus IUL2, and then I show a year-by-year rate of return. Okay, now if you want to add a cover page, you can do it. This is where you can customize it, put your name on there if you want to, put the client's name on there. And then what I do is I preview it to see what it looks like. And this is where you can see the nuts and bolts of where you're going to get the value out of this. You're going to see this, well, obviously, here, let me back up here. I would not name this 401k because I'm not running up against a 401k. I'm running up against a mutual fund in this scenario. So you can change it, rename it, whatever you want to do. Okay? So you can include the cover page. You can change the picture on there if you want to, but let's just keep it simple. I'm going to preview this. You can see what it looks like. And remember, it's not just a mutual fund you can show it against. You can show it up against an annuity, some sort of maybe a Roth IRA. You can show it up against a muni bond, anything like that. But what I want to show you is where you get the real value out of this. So here, what this is doing, this is taking that $10,000 that I was showing on the Builder Plus 2, and it's putting it into the mutual fund, and it's stacking up against the Builder Plus 2 on the far right-hand side. At the top, you can see the interest rates that we're showing on both are 5.5. We matched them to be equal, right? To be fair to both sides. There's that income tax rate. That's where the death benefit starts, okay? So there's the premium going in the left-hand side. Now, what this is going to do is show how the mutual fund is growing, obviously. Now, also on the right-hand side, this is also going to show how the Builder Plus 2 is growing. Now, big part of this, look at the far right-hand side. Remember, this is life insurance. So there's going to be a tax-free death benefit if they pass away that they're not going to get in the mutual fund. That's why they highlight it in red on here, because they really want to show the importance and the value of that tax-free death benefit on the far right-hand side in red. Okay, so now you can see the accumulation value, the year-end surrender value growing along, right? Now, after year 10, when the surrender period is over, you're going to see the accumulation value and the surrender value are going to match because the surrender charge is over. You can see the death benefit increasing on the right-hand side, like we built it. Now, remember, again, tax-free death benefit on the far right-hand side. That's why they show it in red, to show how important it really is. So now what I'll do is I'll just keep going from page to page, and you can see this is showing where the distributions are. Now, remember, we're doing the tax-free loans on the variable side on the Builder Plus 2. Remember how we had it over $61,000 and change right here? This is tax-free. And remember how we had it going all the way to age 90? That's what it's doing here. But now, what they show here is the mutual fund trying to match that. Well, look what happens. It only lasts a little bit over 10 years, and you've depleted the funds, right? And also, it's not going to be tax-free because it's a mutual fund. So this is going to show you, look how strong this is when you're using the Builder Plus 2 as the retirement supplement over the mutual fund, especially when it comes to taxation. And remember, right-hand side, tax-free death benefit is critical in something like this because it is life insurance. Now, this is also going to show you the costs, okay? Now, remember, these are mutual funds, so there's going to be costs to that. There's going to be taxes paid. And on the far right-hand side, it's going to show you the Builder Plus 2. This is tax deferred. There's no additional cost. That's why it shows you 0. Very powerful. Now that I'm showing it all the way to age 90. Now the page I really like to show beyond these costs and taxes and the management fee is down here at the bottom. This shows you what the client would have to get in the mutual fund to actually match the surrender value and the death benefit on the Builder Plus 2. Almost 9% when we're talking about the surrender value on a mutual fund. Over 9% if we're talking about the death benefit on the right-hand side of the Builder Plus IUL2. Okay? So they really like to put everything in red to highlight how you can get the benefits of the Index Universal Life versus a mutual fund. Okay? Very important that you're looking at these sort of things. These are the most important part of this. Now, again, I like to show the costs, the management fee in there if there is one, the tax-free death benefit on the right-hand side, and then the matching values, what you need to get in the other investment or other vehicle to match the Builder Plus 2. Okay? Now, I'm going to back up a page as well. Let's say you want to change it to something different. Let's say you want to go up against a 401k. Technically in here, what that is a tax-deductible retirement plan. We'll keep the yield at 5.5%, okay, just to match what we have in the Builder Plus 2. Not going to put any sales charge or management fees in there, but most of them do have some sort of fee, but I'm just going to keep it out of there to keep it simple. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to preview again. Oh, one thing I should have done, change the cover page because it's going to show a mutual fund. Let me back out of there real quick. Go back here, add cover page, change that to IUL versus 401k. Now I'm going to preview that. It's going to show a different title, of course, but it's going to give you the same layout. The premium going in, any sort of taxation or cost there might be, and how that Builder Plus 2 is going to look a lot better, especially like a tax-free death benefit and then on the distributions. So there's that tax-free death benefit that they wouldn't get if they're in the 401k, right? Now look at this, showing distributions again. 401k runs out of money at age 84. Builder Plus 2 still goes all the way to age 90 like we had solved it. Down at the bottom, what would you need to get in that 401k to match the Builder Plus 2? 6.16 on your 401k to match the surrender value, 6.29 to match the death benefit. So you can see why a lot of advisors are having a lot of success with this. what they like to do is they like to show it up against the other vehicles that they're running into, showing like, hey, look at this. You get upside potential, no downside risk. You have tax-free death benefit, tax-free loans. And one thing I didn't even mention was the CCT. You get the critical, chronic, and terminal illness built into our plans. And remember, that all goes off the death benefit. So if you have to tap into that for one of those reasons, you go off that death benefit on the far right-hand side. And we go off the death benefit at time of election, not at the time of sale. So obviously, like in this scenario where the death benefit starts lower, it increases over time. So we go at the time of election rather than the time of sale, which is definitely going to be an advantage for your client. Now, I just want to open this up real quick. Look at all these pre-made ones that are already in here. I know I kind of showed it real quick. CD, money market, non-deductible IRA. And down here, if you want to customize it yourself, it's name your own investment. So here you could name it, right? If you know the name of the mutual fund or whatever it is you're going up against, you could name it here. You can customize the yield. You can customize the sales charge or the management fee. So if you haven't looked at this yet, go into the North American software, run an illustration real quick, just a sample, tie it to the InsMark just so you can play around with it and get used to it. Very valuable. A lot of our advisors use it, and they use it as a point of sale, and it works especially when they're bringing to those clients who might have some alternative that they're being pitched by somebody else at this moment. So with that, is there any questions that we have out there? I know I buzzed through that quick. I just wanted to kind of give you the lay of the land of what this looks like and the real value you can have and you can use for your clientele using that InsMark software with North American. Again, it's free. But again, Tony, any questions that you see out there? Anything like that? Anybody have any questions?
I'm taking a look right now.
Okay. I think the best part about this too is that you can customize it. You find out you have something else they're going against with a different interest rate, sales charge, management fee, whatever it is, you can just plug it right in there and then you can view the whole illustration.
Okay, I've got one here where it says 401k should put 1% fee.
Well, you never know. All 401ks are different. Like I have an existing one from an old company where the fee is about half a point, something like that, but some of them are more. So it just depends on what you find out the other investment has. Some of these default, like here's an example. So like you can see how this defaults. So who creates InsMark, they set the management fee at half a point. They set the sales charge at half a point as well. But if you find out something different, you can plug that in there.
Someone asked, could you show to age 85?
Can you show like the Builder Plus 2 to age 85?
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, you can dial it to any age. You can dial it to age 100 if you want. So let me back out of InsMark. Let me go back into the regular illustration. I'll show you where you can dial that. So I'm going to go back into that input screen. And right now I have it to 90. And 85 is actually a good age because that is technically past life expectancy at this point. For some reason, it seems like a lot of people like to show it to age 90 just to even show more value that it can go out even further. So here's where it is. I switched it now to age 85. So now if you view the illustration, you'll see it's going to cut off the last 5 years that I was doing before. So it's going to spin here for a little bit, and then it'll show to age 85. I think another big part of this, Tony, too, and I barely touched on it, is the living benefits you get in these plans. I know people are looking at this for tax-free retirement, retirement supplement, those sort of things, but there's a lot of people who are looking for like an alternative to long-term care. And that is huge right now with plans like we have right now, because we have the critical, we have the chronic, we have the terminal illness that are built into our plans. And I know a lot of carriers have got out of selling long-term care, so people are looking at something like this as an alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now if you see in here, go right into the ledger, my distributions are more, of course, because I'm shortening up the period. So there you go, 64,000 and change. There it goes to age 85. And then if you go into InsMark, again, like you click the InsMark tab off this, it's going to reflect that. It'll cut it off at age 85. Any other questions on the North American software or the InsMark software or AG49A or anything like that?
There's a couple of them here that I'm kind of
Okay.
sifting through.
Okay.
One, IUL won't break even for 10 years after all the costs? Question mark.
So depending on how you structure it, because some people might run it at a level death benefit, some of it might be return of premium. It should, if it's structured the right way. But also part of it does depend on the returns that you're getting in the IUL. Okay, because remember, these are all hypothetically speaking illustrations. Now, I like to dial down the illustrated rate. Like if you notice, I ran 5.5, and over time of like the S&P 500, which 90% of the people choose, the returns have been better than that. They've been more around like 6.5 or 7% if you go over the past 5, 10, 20, 30 years. So you're gonna be above breaking even easily based on the past performance. Okay, but part of it just depends on how you illustrate it, what the returns are. But like here's an example. So this is a 10-year surrender product. That's why I showed you where the surrender value and the account value start matching in year 11, right? So if you have 5.5% interest rate, excuse me, and of course, you're not going to get 5.5% every year, right? Some years you might get, who knows, 8%. Sometimes you might get 4%. But based on back testing, I'm just showing 5.5%. So if I zoom in here, you've paid in $100,000, the client has, right? The surrender value and account value are over $116,000. So you're above the $100,000 that you put in. The thing that some people overlook is the death benefit. The death, look at the leverage they get there. If the client passes away, this much goes tax free to the heirs. You're at $700,000 tax free to the heirs. That's leverage. Okay, now think about some other vehicle that the client might be in. There's not going to be that much leverage. There's not going to be a tax-free death benefit of that much that goes to the heirs. Okay, because remember, this is life insurance as well.
Okay, got a few questions from the same agent that's pretty involved, so I'll
Okay.
address those post-webinar.
Okay.
Do have another question where they're asking, how do they get a login to check out the software?
So you do have to at least have a pending code with North American to get on the North American software. Okay, so like if you're appointed with North American already, you should have a login and password. If you aren't yet, you're going to want to contact IAMS and Tony to get the proper paperwork so you can at least get the ball rolling, get the pending code started so you can get on the software and start, being able to sample it, to practice it, to use that to practice with the InsMark as well. But you at least have to have a pending code.
All right, I think that was it. I'm going to switch this over. Okay, I have a couple of polling questions that wanted to send everyone. First question that we have is, if you have any clients that you think that could benefit from utilization of the system, I've got a polling question that I'm launching. If you want to respond to that, you can definitely reach out to you and discuss that.
Tony, one other thing I did definitely want to point out is that with all the uncertainty with what's happened in the market over the past, 7, 8, 9 months, There's a lot more people now who are looking for something like this, where they get the upside potential with no downside risk, and they like the part about the living benefits. They love the part about the tax-free death benefit that they're going to potentially get with life insurance. They are looking at IUL, where before they may have been looking at something different that was going directly into the market. Well, it's definitely scared a few people away. They like the upside potential with no downside risk, and that's where the IUL is going to work perfectly for someone like that.
All right. Next polling question is, would you like to get additional information on today's webinar topic? I'm launching that polling question. And AJ, I will piggyback off of what you just said. We are getting a lot of agents that are looking at other ways to, I don't want to say invest, but to look into retirement using other vehicles for their clients for retirement. So the conversation regarding Index Universal Life has been on the uptick. We're definitely seeing more and more agents looking at that and more agents writing Index Universal Life.
No question. Yep. And here's another thing to remember too, Tony, is I know with the uncertainty in the market and all those sort of things with what's been going on and uncertainty with people's jobs and everything, not everybody is going to be able to fund a big ticket IUL right now, right? We know that. Here's another way to approach that. You still want to talk to your people, your clients and clientele or prospects about life insurance right now. Even if it can't be like overfunding an Index Universal Life plan, people are thinking about insurance more than ever right now with everything that's going on in the country, right? So what a lot of advisors are able to do, they're able to talk to their clients right now about term insurance with North American, right? It's a cheaper form of paying for insurance. Now, what the beauty of that, with our Advantage term product, there's living benefits built in, and you can convert it at any time during your level term period to any of our permanent plans. So let's say that your client purchases an Advantage term. Let's just say it's a 20-year. 5 years down the road, they're like, you know what? Everything's great job security. I'm making a lot of additional money. I want to convert it to the Builder Plus 2 or whatever sold at that time. Any of our permanently sold IULs, they can do that. Okay? They don't have to go through underwriting for that as well. Let's say that they were a preferred class right now. 5 years down the road, they are still a preferred class. So even if the IUL doesn't happen right now, it doesn't mean it can't happen in the future. Sell them the term. And we have living benefits built into our Advantage term plan as well.
That is a good point, because I have had a lot of agents that have turned around and written, let's say, 10-year term for those clients that maybe their job is uncertain, but they do need additional life insurance.
They need something.
Sold it.
Yep.
Yes, they've sold it based on that sales idea or that sales concept, and then have turned around and converted it a few months down the road. So that is something definitely to think about. And lastly, if you're not appointed with North American and you would like to be appointed with North American, have a polling question on that. We'll definitely get you appointed with them. So I'm going to leave this up for a little bit because I got people that are responding with the resounding yes.
That's what we like to hear.
Okay, there's still a few that are responding, so I'll keep this up for a few more seconds.
And also, I did touch on the AG 49A. That is going to be changing here in the next couple weeks and coming into play and all those sort of things. And I kind of outlined the big parts of that and how it's going to have a very minimal effect on companies like us. I think the big thing for people to know too is that when AG 49A does come into play, it's really more about what it's regulating illustration rates. It's not changing products. Okay. companies aren't changing their products because of the AG 49A. They have to change their rates. That's really what it is. We've already been getting a lot of questions like, wait, you're completely changing your insurance plans? No, that's not what it is. It's just how people illustrate them. That's all it is. But like I said earlier, a lot of the companies out there have big asset charges in the background to pay for their bonuses and the multipliers that they have built into their IULs. We really don't. So basically everybody's going to have to dial down their interest rates that they can show. Okay. That's going to have minimal effect on us, but have a bigger effect on those carriers that have those big asset charges.
Well, AJ, I want to thank you for your time today. For the agents that are on the call, if you do have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to me. As you see on the screen here, my email address is tony@IAMSinc.com. Our other life sales director is Jess Riley. He's in our Topeka office. His email is jess@IAMSinc.com. Or you can reach out to us at the 800 number, 800-255-5055, and just ask for someone in the life department and life sales, and be more than happy to help out with that. Now, AJ, as far as additional information that's going to be available for those agents that would like to see additional information, can you let us know what we'll be sending out as a follow-up?
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the actual illustration I did for the Builder Plus 2 on the 35-year-old where it shows the distribution, the variable loans to age 90. Then what I'm also going to send along with it is the InsMark that we looked at against the mutual fund of the same interest rate of 5.5%. So it's going to be 2 PDFs. I'll send them both to you, Tony, and you can send it to anybody who's on this call.
Okay. All right. Well, AJ, thanks again for taking time out of your busy day to participate in this webinar. And for those of you agents that participated today, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. Look forward to speaking to you here real soon. You guys have a great week.
Appreciate the time. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.